I wanted to post a special video today because we are celebrating the 35th anniversary of the ADA, of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And you might say, oh, big whoop. But it is a big whoop because there was so many people involved, so many protests, so many talks, so many walks, so many crawls up the steps at the Washington, D.C. By the way, that happens every year. So if you want to participate in the crawl, you can. You just have to sign up and go with one of the buses. I guess they go in droves. So this is a big deal. And I'm sure this year they already did the crawl up the steps at Washington, D.C. Because of the anniversary. But I just wanted to point out how many people put themselves on the line, how many people put their lives at a pause to be able to fight for themselves, but also to fight for us. So, this is a big deal. This is a big, I don't know what to call it, but as you see the banners, the faces, the everything that's coming up here is part of the whole. It wasn't one person, it was many who came forward, who wrote, who made phone calls, who came on protests, who went to the crawl, who did so many things, people who created banners, people who organized, people who spoke to us and motivated us to be at a protest or a roll or a crawl or any of these activities to bring forth, the need for some kind of legislation that would help us in developing some kind of law and protection for some kind of, we didn't even know what to call it other than, disability rights, disability justice, disability. We called it so many things, and now we have it. We are the beneficiaries of something that was fought hard for so many years. And people, some of you will remember when there was no access to buses, there was no access to ferries, there was no access to trains, there was no access to restaurants, there was no access to hotels. So many things that we have today, we are benefiting from that, from all these people who came through the situation, who worked very hard to help this happen for us. And perhaps they didn't enjoy it, but we are. And so this is something that we need to treasure and we need to protect. And I agree that we have a long, long ways to go yet. We still need proper access to air travel. We need access to more hotels. We need better access to apartments that are built and are being built out there. We need better access to, libraries and roads, sidewalks. So we still have a ways to go. So your voice, your talents, your ability to speak up and to move us is still needed. And there are groups out there that are moving. Like for air travel, we have All Wheels Up, and we have all of the other advocates who are also fighting for better air travel. We are working with trains and train systems to improve what we have now that's still lacking. There are some areas for trains and train systems where we don't have access yet. So we can't sit on our laurels. We still need to work through the system to get what we need. And perhaps we won't see it in our time, but certainly we will be able to work for others and for the future. So I just want us to just bring this to mind, that the ADA just didn't go poof and there it was. There was a lot of fight, a lot of arguing, a lot of phone calls, a lot of writing, a lot of protest. And this wasn't a white situation or a black situation or a Native American. It belonged to all of us, to the entire community. And I am grateful for all of those who came forward to help the situation come to fruition in 1990. This year at some point I will make a brief history, because history is so long. It didn't happen in a week or a month or a year. It took years to develop the ADA. So this is our reality. And to write the history or to do a video with the history is very not easy. So I will look around and do my best at posting the most important years and the people who came forward, who really fought for the ADA, who spoke up and said, yeah, we really need this, governors who were open to saying, yeah, let's bring on that legislation. We really need it in our state. Let's start to make, taxis and buses and trams, accessible for those who are disabled. Parks and museums, they're all accessible to us now, and we take it for granted. I don't want to take it for granted. I don't want all of us to take it for granted. I want us to do something special, even if it's personal, on a personal level, or in a group, to do something special this year in celebration of the 35th anniversary, 35 years. And that's not long. That's a pretty young legislation. And we still have to protect it. We still have to, continue to talk about it, continue to make presentations, to continue to create videos on our rights and our responsibilities, of course. With any right comes responsibility. So I just want us to be able to do something special, whether it's personal or in a group, to bring to the surface this important anniversary. And we're going to have many anniversaries after this, is my hope. But we need to continue to protect it. And that's what I'm saying. 35 years, let's make sure we get to the 50th, to the 100th, and you and I might not see those years, but in the future, that those people who are coming up in the benefits of the American with Disabilities realize how precious it is and how important it will be to continue to protect it, to continue to fight for what is lacking. Because we have the law, okay, great. Now let's make it more robust. Let's make it make sense. let's help states, if a governor doesn't know how quite to put a team together, put a commission together, and have the governor approve that committee and give advice to the governor so they can, the state will stay on top of the ADA, the rules, regulations, the responsibilities of the people with disabilities, the responsibilities of the people in the state, the responsibility of the people in the private industry, to work through those loopholes that we have in some cases that impact people with disabilities. You know, you know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm going. But this year is a good year to look at what you want to do to celebrate, what you want to do to bring forth the Americans with Disabilities Act, and for people to realize that it's a legislation, it's a law that still needs to be tweaked. There are things that still need to be added. There are still things that need to be done to make sure that it is enforced. I tell people this, that words on a piece of paper don't do anything unless you and I and a representative of the courts brings it to life. So I had a video on how to bring forth the ADA and make sure that it is followed. So we are today the guardians of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and we can be advocates, we can teach others about the ADA, so many things. So I just want to say that congratulations to all of those, to us, in this celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I will begin to put together a history, and perhaps it needs to be a series because the history is long and there's so many people that are, that we need to bring them to the surface so that you know who they were and who they are today, and to realize how much of their lives they've given to all of us, and to thank them when you get a chance. All right. Congratulations to all of us in this 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and I will see you very soon.